Hi everyone, welcome to GMO channel. In this video, we'll discuss the Smith Morra Gambit and the Alapin variation. This is from the black's perspective about how to handle these two lines. Now, if black players know the correct idea, they can entirely avoid the Smith Morra Gambit. Let's see how this is done. E4, C5. Here, D4 line goes into the Smith Morra Gambit and C3 is the Alapin. But if you know the correct idea, you can directly transpose this into the Alapin variation itself. So d4, c takes d4, c3, and this is where white sacrifices the pawn. And d takes c3 goes into the main lines of the Smith Morra Gambit, which is quite complicated. And like there are reasonable ways in which black players can fight there as well. But I don't see the necessity to go into a complicated line like that trying to prove the advantage for black. But instead, we could simply avoid that line by starting knight f6 in this position, forcing white to go e5, which is more or less necessary here. And after knight d5, this is a direct transposition to the Alapin variation. Let's try to see this from the other move order. e4, c5, c3, knight f6, e5, knight d5, and here d4, cd4. Basically, we reached the same position that we started from the Smith Morra. So understand this transposition. I think I have mentioned this in my earlier videos as well. There are several openings that can transpose into one another, and we should definitely understand these transpositions, which are very important. Now, after d4, c takes d4, knight f3, knight c6. Here, again, there are two ways to go in this position. One is bishop c4, which is one way to go. And apart from that, white players can always take cd4, which is usually met with d6, and this is a different direction. These are like some of the main lines in the Alapin. But usually, I have seen players who continue with come up with the Smith Morra Gambit move order. They usually continue the game in a more aggressive way. They usually go with bishop c4 and knight b6, bishop b3. Like still, white is giving up the pawn on c3 and dc3, knight c3. White still gains excellent counter chances for the sacrificed pawn. And let's see. Strongest move in this position for black is to go d5. Now, again, c takes d4 basically reduces the pressure right now. Black will simply complete the development by bringing out his bishop outside the pawn chain, followed by e6, bishop e7, and I think black has already achieved a very comfortable position here. So, e takes d6 is what white players usually do. And here, queen d6, and once again recovering the pawn, c takes d4 or knight takes d4 leads into isolated queen pawn structure for the white players, which is again unpleasant. I mean, pretty easy for black players to play after that because it's easy to attack the isolated pawn on d4. White once again continues with short castle, not winning that pawn on d4. And here is a small trick which you guys should remember. dc3 is a bad idea here for black. The problem here is knight g5 attacking the f7 pawn, and e6 to stop bishop into f7 or knight into f7 is once again met with queen h5, which basically allows white to generate a very strong initiative against the black's side, which is basically not all developed. And white will be able to prove his initiative very well, and these kind of lines are not very safe for black. Black should continue with bishop e6, and at this point, bishop e6, queen e6, knight d4, queen d4. Many players have played this, and after rook d8, g6, usually black gets a very comfortable position and has absolutely nothing to worry. The opening is already a success for black. But if white wishes to continue maintaining the initiative, they usually continue with knight a3. Like this game is a approach where white goes aggressive, full-fledged aggressive line without compromising in the opening. But even with such aggression, with precise play from black, white's initiative doesn't really yield him anything much. So knight a3, preparing for knight b5 obviously, and this is the right moment for black to take on c3, which is again met with queen e2. The point is they are preparing for knight b5. Bishop e6 is obviously one of the ideas, but knight b5 is the main threat. Bishop takes b3. Once again, not taking on b3, knight b5. Now the point is, queen b8 is important in this position for black because you have to stop bishop f4, which can also like come up with knight c7 after that. So white recovers the piece back after queen b8. g6. Now this is how we complete the development. g6, bishop g7, short castle. If black achieves this, as you can see, black is left with an extra pawn, and it's just a simple winning position for black. So once again, white goes aggressive, continues with bishop e3. The threat is bishop takes, pawn takes, rook takes a8, queen takes a8 is met with knight c7, which means the game is more or less over. Okay, and now knight c8 in this position to defend against bishop b6 threat. White once again continues with rook a4 and bishop g7. The point of rook a4 is to prepare for bishop f4. It feels like the queen is trapped, but obviously we have some ways to block this with e5. And that is met with, once again, a super aggressive move. Knight takes e5, knight takes e5, bishop e5, and f4. Okay, so far, the way the game has gone, it feels like white has been going out for attack entirely and has been maintaining the initiative. And black has been more or less defending against all of white's threats. And we reach a position like this where black managed to complete the castling. I mean, as long as the king is stuck in the middle of the board, it's always going to be vulnerable. Now, the king is a lot more safer. fe5. And pawn takes b2. Okay, black ended up winning another pawn. And here queen takes b2 once again will release the tension, and black can start coming out pretty easily after that. a6, knight b6, knight e7, whatnot. And again, white continued to increase the pressure on black. Rook af4, which is met with a6. And at this point, white went out with rook into f7. Like, if I think about this position, it feels like rook f7 could be like a winning move. Like, for example, rook f7, queen c4. Like, just think about it. White is threatening queen takes f7, followed by queen f8 is checkmate. And obviously, black doesn't have time to win the knight, or like, all these pieces are looking funny there. Like, it's just not developed, and they're not able to really come out. This is a very interesting moment in the game. And those who wish to find the correct idea for black can pause the video at this point and find the answer by yourself. But the follow-up is just amazing one. Now, black found a beautiful idea, knight d6. I mean, it doesn't feel like a beautiful idea. I mean, it's just like, okay, it's desperation. He's giving up the knight, and you're getting checkmated otherwise. It's the general feeling that we get. But knight d6 has a very deep idea. The point is, okay, number one, e takes d6 is met with queen f8, and black has held on right now, and I'm threatening to win the knight on b5, and basically I'm an exchange up in this position. Already the game is over. So knight d6, knight takes d6 is the critical test, and here comes the amazing idea for black, that is queen to a7 followed by b5. I mean, sudden turn of events where black has managed to hold on, and queen f7 is nothing obviously, because queen takes knight f7. Simply go rook c8 followed by rook c1, and white will end up either getting checkmated or huge loss of material. So coming back to b5, white went out with queen d5 in this position. Okay, here is another interesting moment. The black player went with rook af8, which was perfectly good for him to win the game. But there is another excellent move for black in this position. See if you guys can figure it out. Let me know in the comment section. You'll just feel very happy if you find these kind of moves. Trust me, it's such a nice move. So anyways, that's up to you guys to find it and let me know. So the follow-up went with rook f8 followed by queen d4, and I think the rest was just mere execution. And after a few moves, the white player also resigned. Yeah, it should be more or less over. So I think this gives us, this game provides us a very clear idea about how to handle the Smith Morra and the Alapin system. If white wishes to go super aggressive, like if you guys think about it, white was never happy with, he was not content with any recovering the material back that he gave up. He always tried to increase the pressure, and pretty much whenever white recovers the material, usually like black equalizes very fast, and this is the best that white players can come up with, and basically like black is able to hold on if he knows the correct ideas. So understand the idea behind each and every move that black plays, and after that this line is more or less over. After this, it's very easy for black players to handle. Okay, so I think the Smith Morra and Alapin for black players are pretty clear. I'll see you all in another video then. Thank you.